Module 1, Tibial Reaming. Ream canal using progressively larger reamers until cortical contact is achieved. Remove the T-handle. Ensure the horizontal turn screw is tightened. Slide the cutting block onto the vertical alignment bar and position at the 0 mm mark. Lock into position. Slide the IM assembly over the reamer. Adjust the vertical alignment bar towards the anterior tibia and lock into position. Attach the 1 mm stylus to the slot capture of the cutting block. Lower the IM assembly until the 1 mm stylus touches the least affected side of the tibial plateau. Tighten the IM collet. For optimal tibial access, unlock the horizontal turn screw and rotate the IM assembly about the anterior tibia. Once positioned, lock into place. Remove the stylus. Insert headless pins into the 0 mm pinholes, then into the oblique hole. Resect the proximal tibia. Remove the pins and loosen the IM collet. Remove the IM assembly. Assess the AP and ML size of the resected tibia and select the proper size drill guide. Insert the tibial neutral bushing into the drill guide. Place the neutral bushing assembly over the reamer. Using headless pins, pin the drill guide in place. Remove the neutral bushing and reamer. Insert the tibial counterbore guide bushing into the drill guide. Attach depth stop to the reamer, ensuring the IM canal marking is facing towards the cutting end of the reamer. Position at the tibia mark. Insert the counterbore reamer into the guide bushing until fully seated. Insert the tibial counterbore guide bushing into the appropriate size tibial drill guide. If adequate tibial coverage is not achieved with the neutral tibial bushing, remove the assembly from the tibial plateau. Replace the tibial offset bushing assembly over the reamer. In this animation, a 4 mm offset is used. Rotate the offset bushing about the tibia until proper coverage is achieved. Using headless pins, pin the tibial drill guide to the proximal tibia. Make note of the location of the arrow marking on the offset bushing to the number references on the position of the offset coupler trowel implant when connected to the trowel stem implant. Leaving the pins in place, remove the offset bushing from the tibial plateau, then remove the reamer or trowel stem connection rod assembly. Replace the tibial counterbore guide bushing assembly over the pins. Insert the counterbore reamer assembly into the guide bushing and ream until the depth stop makes contact with the guide bushing. Remove the counterbore reamer assembly. Remove the tibial counterbore guide bushing assembly and the pins from the tibial plateau. Place the trowel stem guide assembly into the tibial canal. Place the counterbore reamer assembly, still positioned at the tibia marking, over the trowel stem guide assembly until the depth stop contacts the tibial plateau. Align the laser mark on the male end of the offset coupler J-hook with the line mark on the posterior side of the distal face of the female tibial trowel taper. Push in the offset coupler trowel and turn coupler a quarter turn to engage the J-hook. Align the male end of the trial stem J-hook to the female end of the offset coupler. Push in the trial stem and make a quarter turn to engage the J-hook. Insert the 3.5 millimeter hex screwdriver into the proximal end of the tibial trowel until the screwdriver is engaged with the hex connection on the coupler trowel. Unlock the coupler trowel by turning the hex screwdriver counterclockwise. Adjust the coupler to the predetermined position, obtained previously in the sizing and placement section, by aligning the correct clock position on the offset coupler trowel to the line marking on the tibial trowel. Once positioned, turn the hex screwdriver clockwise to lock the predetermined offset into position. Insert the tibial trowel offset coupler stem trowel assembly into position. Assess the preliminary AP and ML position of the tibial trowel tray. Final rotation of the tibial trowel tray will be determined from the femoral trowel and constrained tibial trowel insert.
With the tibial trowel in the tibia and the femoral trowel in the femur, insert the constrained articular insert trowel into the tibial trowel tray. Perform a trowel range of motion. The tibial trowel should be rotationally symmetric with the femoral trowel in full extension, with the extensor mechanism reduced. Mark the rotation on the tibia utilizing the two anterior marks on the tibial trowel tray. Remove the articular insert trowel. Using a short-headed spike through the tibial trowel, pin the trowel tray to the proximal tibia to lock the rotational orientation of the tibial trowel.
Select the appropriate wedge resection guide and orient the correct ML direction. Insert the locking quick connect handle through the wedge resection guide by depressing the ball tip of the handle and inserting the handle through the guide into the anterior quick connect pocket of the tibial trowel tray. Lock the wedge resection guide by tightening the knob in the quick connect handle. Then tighten the thumb screw on the wedge resection guide. Using headless pins, pin the wedge resection block to the anterior tibia in the most distal holes. Resect for tibial wedges. Loosen the quick connect knob to release the handle from the resection guide and tibial tray. Remove the tibial trowel assembly from the canal. For hemi-stepped wedges, make a sagittal cleanup cut by using the pin located at the resection level as a guide. Using a 3.5 millimeter hex screwdriver, screw in the appropriate tibial wedge into the distal aspect of the tibial tray and replace the tibial assembly onto the proximal tibia. Replace any pins needed for stability, and using the appropriate size fin punch, insert the punch into the proximal tibial tray and impact until fully seated.
Perform a trowel range of motion to make sure the tibial trowel is rotationally symmetric with the femoral trowel in full extension, with the extensor mechanism reduced.